Happy Friday, everybody. It's Nate from Ferocious Beer Company. Hope you guys are having a great start of a new weekend. We are here. It's Friday, which is awesome. I have got Teakey here, and I'm going to bring him on right away. So without further ado, here he is. There he is. It's Teakey41 on Instagram, technically, otherwise known as Jordan. What's going on, my friend?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I think I might be a different name on a different platform. I might just be Tiki on YouTube, but
On
I don't
YouTube?
know. I
Okay,
don't
so on
even pay
YouTube, you
attention.
may be Teakey. On Instagram, it's Teakey41. So apparently
Yes.
there's 40 other Tikis before you on Instagram.
Well, I've been using that number for like 15 years, and now I'm finally around that age, so it's fitting.
Nice. Well, before we go any further, I did want everybody to know that the Bearded Ninja 84 still beat you in the comments tonight. So for some reason, that's like a running joke every week. And who's going to be first? And more times than not, it's Steven, a Bearded Ninja 84. So
If this is too distracting back here, I'll take it down. It kind of looks like modern art.
it's like Game of Thrones in the 21st century.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going for.
If only if you could you don't have a green screen, do you?
No, no,
No.
but maybe I'd want something like that.
Well, I was gonna say that StreamYard has rolled out recently the ability to kind of have a quasi. You can still do a green screen background without an actual green screen, and as long as you stay in place, it's not too bad. But if you start
Yeah.
moving around, then it starts to kind of like the computer can't keep up with you, and it's like it gives away the secret. But you could do that maybe.
Well, it's really funny that you're talking about like an app because now they have one that makes people cry. And like the newest thing on Instagram, I think TikTok does it, and then it just makes its way onto Instagram all the time. It's like these sad faces. So like you ask somebody a question, be like, but that should bring them joy, and then they just
Hmm.
have this like horrible looking face. But they're talking, they don't even know what's going on because the person's just holding their phone, and then they're talking to like, yeah, I like work as they have like a really bad face.
Yeah, that's so funny. It's actually not funny because you can get into some trouble with that. Like you know what I mean? Like you could be like, like for example, I always bring up the Tom Cruise videos that are not really Tom Cruise, and
Oh yeah,
like it's him talking, it's his face, it's his body, and yet it's not him at all. And it's like, I bet you in the future there's going to be cases where someone is accused of something because there's the evidence, there's the proof, there's the video, and it's like, wait, I didn't say that. You know what I mean? I mean,
if they did one of like a politician, it would like people would just go with it. They don't care. Obviously, they'd be like that. They either like the guy or they don't, and then they saw it, they'd be like, "Yep."
yeah, I told you. See, but yeah. So, whoops, too far back on there. There we go.
Yeah, they have so much footage of like Tom Cruise's head that they have saved up footage from everything. He's like every turn of his head, they have footage of it.
Yeah. Hey, Aldemir's out in Puerto Rico. What's going on, Aldemir? How's it from
Oh,
PR?
jeez.
He's visiting he's going places to places. Including I believe Texas. So hopefully we'll be able to get a chance to say hi and meet if that's the case. Um, so I'm looking forward to that. Ellie's here. Howdy, y'all. Good to see you, Ellie Orchard. What's going on? Melissa Kate, happy Friday, y'all. Cindy's here too. What's going on, Cindy? Of course, Satisfied Senior wouldn't miss this show for the world. Hello, Aldemir, Ellie, Mr. and Mrs. Tiki, Melissa K, Ninja, whoever is next. Well, that's me. What's going on there, Rick? Great to see you, man. Friday the 13th was always a lucky day for me as well as the number 13. Yeah, 13 was always been my lucky number too. What's your favorite number, Tiki?
Uh, well, I always would win on your show with 17, but and that became everyone's like number.
17. So that's the magic
17.
number. Uh,
41. I've been going 41 for a while. I don't know. I'm not a superstitious guy, but when it comes to numbers, I kind of am.
yeah. I know some people, they'll play like lottery, for example. They'll play the same numbers for like 10 years, 20 years. And like, there's no difference in chance if you do just a random every day or that number every day. It's just random luck of the draw. Like, people think it'll just, chances are it'll come up, but every number has the same exact chance, really. It's just weird how people, they get fixated on, I got to play that number. That number hasn't come up yet. It's got to be coming up soon.
Right.
So, Satisfied Senior says he could hear all the toilets flushing. That was just a couple of minutes before the show started.
Oh, is that like a joke? I'm not in on that one.
It's a new one. I mean, I guess like, okay, the show's about to start, so let's wrap it up. And although with phones nowadays, you could just literally watch it while you're in there. So, I guess you don't have to get disturbed. You could watch it, take your 2-hour bathroom break, and boom. Where have you been? I've been with Nate and Jordan. Rick says 15 minutes is one of his favorite his recent creations. That's how long it takes Teakey to grow his beard out.
So I've always had the same. I feel like I'm always turned around on this camera, but I've always thought me and you had the same kind of beard. But you've got yours tapered in. I actually gave mine a trim and I made it nice and flat. But that was a couple weeks ago, and now it's starting to kind of crown over.
Yeah, well, I do remember. Boy, it just seems like a couple of months ago, but it was probably longer than that when you shaved completely. And I feel like it didn't take much longer than 15 minutes for it to grow back because, I mean, it just seems like every couple of posts you'd make, it would be like a quarter longer, a quarter more longer, a quarter more longer. Like it's really your growth is pretty quick.
Well, there was a little trick. The little trick to that, I would shave and then I would kind of wait a little bit before I release that, so I'd have a couple days jump because some people really don't like seeing you with no beard. So I literally would have people be like, "I'm unfollowing you because you don't have a beard anymore." So.
Oh yeah. I mean, can you imagine like if I went to the farmer's market and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna start from scratch, and I went to the farmer's market like, come on guys. Beard oil. I got some beard oil, and I look like I'm selling, I don't know,
razors,
Apple computers or something. Yeah, I'm selling razors. So speaking of the farmers market, okay, two things. One is I'm not going tomorrow just because I'm taking a little break from the farmers market. It's going to be really hot tomorrow, and last Saturday when I was there, the turnout was, I would say, okay. It wasn't like as great as I was hoping it was. So I'm going to wait for. I'm going to do it again next week, but I might do it every 2 weeks. I'm not sure, rather than every week. So we'll see how it goes. But I was going to say, at the farmer's market, I can't tell you how many times people will walk up to my booth and say, oh, I love that stuff. It's so great. Now, they don't have a beard. They're a woman or they're a guy, but they don't have a beard. And they think it's CBD oil. Like, they just look at the bottles and just assume, oh, that's CBD. I'm like, did you see the big old Ferocious beard.com up on top? It's like, no, they don't look at that. It's like,
just as good. Lavender, you never know.
Yeah, this stuff, you just put it on your arm, put it on your skin. Just don't ingest it. Don't vape it. So, let's see. Just catching up with people. Greeters here. Michael, what's going on, man? Great to see you. Michael Zarati's also in the house. Good to see you, Michael. And you are on time. You're not late. So great to see you, man. Glorious Spirit of New Bedford. What's up, everyone? You are all massholes. Massholes.
Number one in his book.
Yes, exactly. He must really mean that because he put it 3 times. Who else is here just a bunch of them popped up. Hold on, let me go back to where I was. Nicholas Z. Bearded. What's going on, Nicholas? How's it going, man? Hope you're doing all right. Dan B. 007. Good to see you, man. Russ Young, hello.
Nicholas has quite a beard in his profile picture.
Yes. Oh, yeah, he does. I'm like, I've got beard envy when I see that picture. I'm like, wow.
It's all
Some
beard.
people.
Like from that view, you're getting it like the camera's down at the beard level.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's like, let's start with the beard, and then, oh, there, by the way, there's my face. That's how he takes his pictures.
Yeah, and what's nice is usually I'm always on my phone. Everything's phone. And
Hmm.
then you can see it just a little bit bigger, and it's like seeing it for the first time on a computer. Just that
Yeah,
little change in size.
yeah. It's definitely it's one of those things. Yeah, where you put it onto a computer, you put it onto a big screen. A lot of people are watching these YouTubes on big screen TVs now, because either the TV it's a 4K TV. I broadcast in 1080p. A lot of people broadcast in 720. Um, but even 720 on a big screen TV looks pretty good, you
Hmm.
know. So yeah, it's like you never know. Your little picture you take for your profile is going to be like a foot in diameter on a big screen TV, you know. So I was going to say, speaking of my beard length, because you referenced it. So the thing is, with my style, I like to have it kind of tapered and then
Hmm.
appear to look the same length as you're looking down, and then kind of come down. So to do that, though, you really do have to trim this side, and so I feel like I lose a lot of my beard hair when I do that, just because it is pretty short, and especially when you compare to where my hair is, it started out shorter, about as short as a zero on here. So yeah, I like the length. I want to keep the length, but
Yeah.
when it's out further this way, it just looks longer, even though it's the same length. It's a visual thing. It looks longer. It's like if you cut your hair, your
Mm,
beard just looks automatically like
your head
it's.
looks longer. The way you have your beard pointed, and then you've got, the hair in the center of your head. I think it gives you definitely a more elongated,
It
leaner
does.
look.
It
You
does
look,
look like that. I mean, it's an optical illusion for real. I think because I mean, although it is kind of an oval, I've always had an oval shape, except
yeah.
when I was a lot heavier. But it is one of those things where, oh my gosh, I wish my beard was longer. Okay, I'll just shave my head. Now it looks longer all of a sudden. It's just an optical illusion. So we got 20 people in the house today. Miss Melissa Kate, she says that sad filter is hilarious. I have not seen it yet. I'm going to have to take a look and just to see what's all about.
So I see all of these reels. Like I'm addicted to just looking at interesting stuff. And if you're on Instagram, it just feeds you stuff. Everything is interesting. With every swipe is something like mind blowing. I think because the internet's so new. And but like I don't think you can really search for that stuff on Instagram. It doesn't have a. If you
Yeah.
search, it won't pull up a reel.
Yeah, you're right. And another thing I found out about Instagram that I don't like is, like, let's say you watch a video on Instagram and you're like, "Wow, this is really cool." And then you accidentally refresh it. It goes
Ah,
away, and you're
lost it.
like, there's no history of your Instagram videos to refer to say, "Oh, here it is," because if you
Ugh.
want to show it to someone, you can't, because it doesn't keep track of that. So there's really, unless you just happen to remember like who created it or something,
Right.
which you
You
probably
can
won't. It's like you can't search for it.
you can
And
save them though. You can save them.
yeah, but that's assuming you haven't swiped and it refreshed.
Yeah, no, I've done that, and I'm like, no, because he just wanted to see something extra.
Right. Yeah, so it's like, well, I guess I won't be watching that again. So, bearded account, what's going on? Great to see you, Ken. Hello, all.
So
Um,
one tip, and I told you this, but you're like, I don't know, and like technology better than most, better than me, is that when you share, if I was to take your name, and I find this weird because like the picture I showed this morning with you in it, I just
mhm.
hit like the little paper airplane and it like pops it up in my story. But like it doesn't let you know I shared it unless I put your at Ferocious name, and then
Okay.
you have the ability to share my stuff. So if I put the at your name, then you can share what I've produced, and then if you want to share your stuff, you can just take your fingers like this on the phone, and you've
Mhm.
made it as big as like the original if you want.
Oh,
So
I
I
mean,
mean, it's
I've
really
shared
easy.
things. I have shared a few things that have come through, and I that seems to go to my feed or my feed, whatever it is, my
Story.
story in the circle.
Right.
Which then it's there for, I guess, 24 hours, and then poof, it's gone.
Right. It
So,
does. It would do an anniversary too if you looked it up. You're like, oh yeah, but I never looked those.
oh. Bacon is here. What's going on? Thank you for being here on the Ferocious Friday free for all. Just in case you guys don't know, I know it says save 15% with code Ferocious, but all through the entire month of May, you can save 30% on all Ferocious products with code Mental Health. So if you like to save money, that's really a great deal. 30% is pretty steep. So use code Mental Health and you will save 30% on everything at ferociousbeard.com through the month of May. Russ says
So,
Dream Bomb combo.
Ninja just said, don't forget the thumbs up. What I really like about that thumbs up now, there's a little incentive of pressing it. It like jumps and like gives you all this like little bit of a flash and pop when you press it.
Yes. That I'm not watching on YouTube, but I have watched other people's YouTube. Let me just click on.
Yeah, if you do the little thumbs, it just kind of like twitches and kind of like boop, like it's like a little bit of a confetti blast when you hit
Let's
it.
see. Here's a video. This is from Embrace the Beard Life. He was unboxing a beard product from Mudcat Whiskers. Let me hit this. I like this. It just turned from like black to white for me. Maybe if it's live. Maybe if it's a live stream, it does that. Could
be.
Oh, well. I will try that on my next time I'm watching a live. I will do that. Dream Bomb. So Russ has Dream Bomb combo in his beard this evening. Nice. That is a really great scent. I love that scent. Little chocolate for you. Todd is on Facebook. What's going on, Todd? Hey. Good to see you, man. Up in Connecticut. And I saw Ellie said she was born in 84. 71 myself. 71. When were you born?
80. Makes it easy to remember how old I am.
Oh yeah. Exactly. You just start. It's like starting with 0. 80 is 0.
Yeah.
You know. So.
Russ said it looks like I should have had more. He thought I had more gray in my beard. He said more wisdom. It's all about the lighting. If I get in that bathroom light, it looks, or I think it's outside light, it turns kind of like white right here.
Yeah, I mean, I see some gray, but mostly black on your beard. And on mine, like when I look at it, I see a lot of grays, and I'm sure most people do too. But like if I'm looking,
it comes across as like a red, you would call it red, but it's orange.
Yeah, there's just not like I see like right here, for example, this is red, but I don't know. It's like it's definitely not getting redder. Put it that way. It's getting grayer, which I mean, what the heck? I'm 50, right? So I don't think it's gonna. I'm not pissed or anything, but I wish I'd grown my beard earlier in life.
I've heard you say that before.
Yes.
You could see what it looked like as a younger man.
Yes. I know I haven't tried dyeing my beard. I think that would be kind of fun just to do it, to try it, to see what it looked like. But it, like everybody that follows me would be like, what is he doing? Freaking mohawk.
I'm planning on
he's dyeing his beard.
I might dye my beard tomorrow, just like in the few spots that it's gray.
Yeah.
And it makes you look younger. And as far as like health goes, I don't notice anything. Like it's not like I just spring up. Like I don't think I've ever had a split end because I mean some guys grow their beards out down to their belts. I'm not going for years of length, so I don't have to worry about. So it usually gets shaved off before anything. It gets shaved off with the dye still in it. But
okay, I'm drinking lemonade tonight, but it doesn't look like lemonade with this green screen. It is it's it looks like it's fruit punch, but it is. This is actually the no sugar lemonade. I added the powder too. Ellie says her reunion is back in New York City, and she's in Colorado. $75 a person. Went to a Catholic school, and it's even more expensive than when you went, of course. Yeah. New York, that would be a trip from Colorado. That would be an awesome road trip, though.
You're the guy that takes those trips. Amazing.
You know why, though, I do road trips more than fly? Because if you were to, like, I flew with my youngest daughter to California just because it was the two of us and we were staying at my sister's. But, like, if you were to fly somewhere, let's say we were going to go to, like, New England, see my mom. And
Okay.
if we'd have to fly, we'd probably fly to Boston, like Dallas to Boston. So there's 4 airplane tickets. And they're pretty pricey now. So that's like, say they're $600 round trip. That's $2,400 just to get there. Then you need a vehicle when you're there, and we have a Honda Odyssey, so we would need at least something that could hold our luggage and us. And that's like renting from when you rent a car from like an airport, it's like $100 a day or more, and probably for a larger vehicle, probably more. So now you're at like, let's say it was a week, that's $700. So you're at $3,100 already, and that's just driving around in flight. Now you got to stay somewhere. So I don't know. I mean, gas is pricey, but I still think you save a lot of money. And plus, you get to see the country, a lot of places you don't usually get a chance to get to. The flyover states, you get to drive through them.
So Russ is saying, I beg to differ with you. I'll give you my real quick thing. Russ is saying that if I dye my beard, it's going to have a fake look. And it does what it does do is your beard actually probably is made up of like 4 different colors of hair, and if you dye it, let's say black, it's just one color now. It's black. So you went from 4 different colors to now just one, and it flattens it, and it does give it a fake look. But I'll just put it in like in this couple of spots. I won't even put it in over here, and if I got a dark brown, you wouldn't even be able to tell the difference. They would look identical. And after a couple showers too, it softens. It's not as strong of a look. So,
I mean, I think it would be fun just to do it, just to see what happens. I mean, it'll always eventually wash out and grow over anyway.
right. Oh, yeah, that's another thing. Like if I was to dye this black, it comes out gray, not up here, but probably from here down. So like it would start to the colors would come back out. It'd be I don't know, maybe like the bottom down here would be black, but then it gets more natural as it kind of grows out too.
Ellie says she has 3 gray hairs. That's it. Oh, lucky you, Ellie.
Ellie's still young.
It'll get there, but not for a long time, I hope.
It's all different areas. Like now I'm getting a couple in my eyebrows, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I could deal with it in my beard, but now like my eyebrows make me feel like a different kind of age. But going back to your driving, if you only had like let's say a week for spring break, then you got to get down there quick so you can spend all your time in Florida versus the road. And I think we would normally spend, we go with the cheaper airlines. We'd always spend like $200 a ticket.
Round trip?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't find those rates, especially during school break,
Yeah,
Southwest.
that's the thing. That's when they hike them up.
Yep. Yeah, like Southwest, which is usually the only airline I fly is Southwest. Although I did fly JetBlue once, and they were fine. But I find that I like Southwest because like it's free baggage. You don't have to pay extra for that, and plus I just like their whole vibe. I love the whole thing. They always leave late. I know that, but they always get there either on time or early, so they're usually pretty good about that.
And it's not like they're falling out of the sky at any bigger rate than anybody else,
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know when the last plane. I haven't even heard of a plane crash in. It's been a long time, I think.
Yeah, and Southwest. I mean, I know it could happen to anyone, but Southwest. I mean, the only incidents they've had crashes wise, I think they had. They did have one where they lost compression. I think in the plane, and someone might have flight attendant. Was that Southwest where the flight attendant got sucked out of the window? I don't know.
I've never heard of that. It sounds like a movie.
Right? It may have been Southwest, but the only other crash that I am aware of with Southwest is in Chicago. They came in too hot, and so they came in really too fast. And when they landed, they overran the runway, crashed through the fence, and ended up on like the road that goes around the airport and hit a car. And somebody in the car died. I think it was a boy actually. So, but other than that incident, there hasn't. I mean, Southwest has been pretty good. So I don't know. I just like them. So Russ says, not to offend anyone in chat, I think 3 favorite beards are Luxurious Dave, Ken the Accountant, and Defined Kerry, all of which have great beards. I can't disagree with you, Russ. I think you're spot on, man.
Yeah, Ken has one of those wizard beards that I like to call wizard.
Yes.
Definitely wisdom throughout that one.
Now, Russ says Brian Haywood dyed his beard. I do remember the video, but he says he later regretted it. I don't know why he regretted it. I'm not sure. I haven't seen that. But, like, did it leave some long-standing, whatever you want to call it? Did it dry it out or something? Why would he have regretted it when it will eventually grow back?
And here's the thing. I know there's probably some videos out there about dyeing your beard.
Yep.
The thing about, like, my wife, she's never not had a dyed hair on her head since I've known her, and that's been a couple of decades. And by the time it gets to the bottom, she's probably dyed that same strand of hair like 3 times. You know, she just keeps hitting the roots up and getting it again.
Yeah.
So
Satisfied Senior says he knows men that have dyed hair black. It looks like they applied shoe polish. You know, you mentioned that, Rick, and I will tell you that I remember, like, up in Rhode Island, you know, you had a lot of older folks there. Really, a lot of folks everywhere, but I just specifically remember because Rhode Island is a heavy Italian population, and I remember lots of older couples where the woman would have, like, jet black hair, and the man in the relationship, he would have white or gray or something, and it was like clearly someone's doing some polishing. You know, I mean, and it's fine, but it just is like when you put the two people together, it's just becomes super clear that that's
and I always kind of feel for, like, a person with fair skin, black hair is pretty on the rare side, really.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I have black hair dye. It's just because I got it for free. It's like that's the color I was going with because I was so cheap. To, like, I don't know if I want to go out and spend the $10 to get brown. Now maybe I'm getting talked in to get brown. But,
well, Ellie says, got to embrace the gray. I hope my gray keeps coming in the same streak it's been going so I can have a Lily Munster stripe. Oh, that would be cool. Yes, that would be really nice. Russ says ever since he was young, he's said he'd never dye any hair. Back then, a beard wasn't part of the equation.
So I just seen it says Garcia reviews. That's Maximus, and I was going to talk about shorts today. I learned all about shorts from Maximus. He's the guy that tipped me off. He's like, "Hey, nobody knows about these. It's this brand new thing. If you do it, it gets out there before anybody else even, like, knows what's going on." Maximus is the guy that told me about shorts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't even called shorts back then. I mean, it was shorts, but it went in as kind of like a beta test. It was like you actually had to, I think you had to put it in a certain way. You might have had to put hashtag shorts to get to run as a shorts.
Yeah, I do remember hashtag shorts and vertical, right?
Yep, it's always been vertical, and now and it had to be under a minute. And I always wondered, like, if it was 60 seconds, because even when you upload at 59 seconds, processing, it's almost like tax. It puts on another second.
Oh,
to your
okay,
video.
Interesting.
So I always, just to make sure, I'd always do it like 59 or 58, and it's really hard to get like 2 minutes of content that you kind of like all the parts you said, to get it down to a minute.
Dylan Weirich. What's going on, Dylan? He's wearing Autumn Night beard oil tonight. What's everyone got in? Yeah, go ahead and let people know what you're wearing. Would love to hear that. Even if it's not a Ferocious brand, I'd still love to see what you are wearing. So go ahead, punch in what you are wearing. I will tell you, with not so much Instagram shorts, but I've noticed with Reels, those videos that I've made on Reels on Instagram have within sometimes 15 minutes, there'll be like 1,000 views. I'm like, holy moly, where did all these views come from? Whereas if I do a regular post, I can't tell how many people have seen it, but I can tell how many people like it or indicate they like it. And, I might get usually 25 to 35 likes on posts that I make. But if I do a reel, I still might get the same amount of likes, but it'll get 1,000 views or 2,000.
So that was the big thing that Maximus would say. He would say, so if you did like a regular anything you post, it's only showing to like your people, or if you use hashtags, whoever searches the hashtag can see it. And I always suggest definitely use hashtags, get some potential new eyes. But a reel, it gets sent out to people that you don't know. Like they just test it. And if it does good, like we'll go over what makes it good, it'll keep getting out to more and more people. So what really makes a reel or a short good is watch time. Like if somebody will watch it 100% of the time, that's considered like it's good. It's got something about it that people like, and they'll keep pushing it. And if somebody technically just stays on and watches it twice, it can be like 200%. So you can go beyond 100% watch time. You can get 200% watch time.
Oh, wow.
Which is really rare. But if you get like 80%, that's pretty good, and that's an average. 80% would be like half the people are watching it for 100%, and half the people are watching it for 60%, and it's median right there at 80%.
Okay. That's interesting.
They have a YouTube app. It's called, I've got it, YouTube Studio, YT Studio.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll show you how much, it shows you on your phone. You can put the hashtags on your phone. Otherwise, you can't do it on YouTube. At least I don't think you can. Or the big thing was you can change your thumbnail from your phone. And but you can't get a thumbnail on a short, which is fine because people usually are just given the short. Like, here, watch this. You kind of like this stuff. So you're not going to sit and look at the cover or the thumbnail anyways.
Mm-hmm. On a different topic real quick, Garcia reviews, I ain't messing with snakes anymore, guys. My cousin sadly passed away from a snake bite performing at the snake show a couple of weeks ago. Holy crap, man.
Whoa.
Sorry to hear that. That's awful.
Whoa.
No more rattlesnakes for you. Wow. I'm so sorry, brother.
Yeah, one of the things with Maximus, one time he said he saw a snake and he took his gun out and just knocked it out. And so it always stuck with me about him and snakes. They always were a thing. And then he had a big necklace full of rattlesnake tails.
Yes.
From what he caught. And the thing that people don't know about rattlesnakes is they don't have like beads inside of their tails. It's just like made out of fingernail material, and it's just when they hit together, it's making that sound. Can't really make it, but it's just the scales clumping together.
My oldest just got a snake. It's not a poisonous. It's a corn snake, though. So it's actually technically at the pet store they call it a fancy corn snake because it's got interesting colors, and it's kind of like a light tan and red, and it's got red eyes. It's actually pretty cool looking. I was never into snakes, but I'm like, if this is what makes you happy and you can keep it, keep up with it. I just don't want to hear, "Where's the snake?" I don't want to hear that ever come out of their mouth.
I think corn snakes aren't they usually like red, white, and black? That kind of their colors?
There's a variety. This one doesn't have any black in it, but it has it's like a light tan and red weaves kind of in it. But the red eyes are what kind of makes it look pretty cool.
It's kind of like a Ferocious branded snake. You get the one with
Yeah,
the black.
minus the black. Exactly. It's a ferocious snake you got there. So
We should get a picture with some bottles and have it all weaving in there.
I know. I mean, I could definitely probably take it out and put it in somewhere where I could take a picture of it, and then I've got a program on my phone which lets me take away the background pretty quickly. Which that software is just super useful. Product photos, you know, what something else where I was leaning up against a bottle of beard oil or something in one of the pictures. It's you can just take a long profile of yourself and then just have it remove the background and then just take it and paste it into a bottle next to a bottle or something, so it looks like you're leaning up against the bottle or whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
so,
nice.
Snake oil in beard. Yeah, that's snake oil. Speaking of which, story on the local news yesterday, a guy reached into his toolbox and, lucky for him, got a dry bite from a copperhead. Ooh. Yeah, that's...
We don't really have to worry about stuff like that in Michigan. There's nothing to get you here.
You don't have a... So what is the worst thing there in Michigan?
The cold.
The cold? Okay.
It keeps people away, I guess. They would rather go to California where there's earthquakes or hurricanes in Florida than face cold.
Yep. Yeah, we've got. Here in Texas, we've got fire ants, which don't kill you. Although I guess enough of them could, but they really hurt when they bite you, and they bite in. They send us, if a couple of them get on your legs or something, if you're sitting in the grass, they have a way to send a message out to the others or something, so they all bite at the same time. So we got.
Yeah, I remember. I stepped on the grass in Florida and I met up with some of those. So.
Yeah, it's just not. It's not a good day to do that. We've got wasps. We've got weird bees too. We've got these gigantic bees that I don't even know what they are. They're some kind of wasp, but they are twice the size of most wasps, and they just sometimes will be out especially in the summertime in the pool or whatever, and then it'll come around the corner from the side of the house. It'll just fly over the pool, take another pass, and look around. You're like, what is that? I mean, it's massive.
Yeah, I think we have those.
Oh, so you do?
They must be everywhere.
Oh. Yep. Ellie's got raccoons the size of bear cubs. Is that how you got the name of your scent, Bear Claw? We've had random bears run through town, some with deer and other critters. Oh, wow. Coral snakes are venomous. Red and yellow kill a fellow. Milk snake is not venomous. Red and black, friend, a jack.
I always heard the ones that are in the water are always never... see a snake in the water, that's never a good sign.
Yeah, we haven't seen any snakes in the pool yet. I mean, I'm waiting for one day we'll go in there and there'll be a snake heading toward us or whatever, or just along the side, but we haven't seen any yet. But I'm sure it's just a matter of time. Super scary when the random critter is a mountain lion. Yeah, I'll say.
I did a little poll. I said, what would people rather be, too hot or too cold? And everybody said they'd rather be too cold.
Really?
But I don't see them wanting to move to Michigan. So
yeah. I mean, Michigan. I've never been to Michigan, but it looks like everything I've seen about it looks like a beautiful state. You've got your cities, you've got your country, you've got
there you got a little bit of everything.
Lakes.
I think there's a lot of states like that around us.
Yeah, rather be hot. I like the heat here. It's crazy, but I actually like going out mowing the yard when it's really hot, as long as I've got water or something. It just, for some reason, it just keeps me going. But this year, for some reason, I don't know. I mean, in the couple of days, it's been 98 degrees. Today it was hot. Yesterday was hot. Yesterday I was actually or I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before. I was waxing the Odyssey with one of those orbital waxers, and I'm like, man, this sucks. Like, it's so hot out here. Like, I mean, I was like, I don't even want to go to the other side and finish it because it was so hot, you know. And that was the first time since I've been in Texas that I'm like, man, this is really hot, you know. Rick says he hates wind worse than heat or cold. Yeah, it can get pretty windy out here. Like, I remember sometimes, especially right around the time between spring and summer, I like to keep the windows down sometimes because it's not quite super hot yet, and yet the winds are just out of control, 30, 40, 50-mile-an-hour winds, and so you have the windows open on both sides, and it just goes right through the car and starts blowing papers around, and you feel like you're littering.
Yeah, that's no good. Especially if you're like trying to film anything outside, then that was always my biggest enemy is the wind would just come into that microphone and go.
Oh, yeah, it's like you got to put like a few socks over your mic or something. Sam says he prefers 100 degrees in the shade. Yeah, in the shade, 100 degrees isn't bad. And it's funny because, like, since I moved here to this house, which has a pool, even if it's like 105 out, if you jump into the pool, which is like probably 90 degrees, the water by then, and then you get out of the pool, you're actually kind of cool. Like, you're actually feeling kind of chilly, even though it's 100, because that wind will sometimes just make it cold. Cindy asks, how do you like the Odyssey compared to the Yukon? Well, it was a Tahoe, which is basically the Chevy version of a GMC Yukon. Same vehicle, though, pretty much. I miss the Tahoe in certain cases. Like, I miss the look of it. I miss the fact that it actually sat up higher than the Odyssey. I don't miss... Here's the things I don't miss about the Tahoe. I don't miss that, like, if I have stuff in the back, anytime I turn around or from go over a bump or something, all that cargo tends to shift, especially like at the grocery, you go get groceries or something and you come home, there's nowhere to put it. Like, I didn't have any baskets, so like I didn't I would inevitably, something's going to get lost, or like a 6-pack of beer is going to break, it's going to fall out the back when I open the back. So I don't miss that. I don't miss, like, when I took my daughter, my youngest, I took to see fireworks in an unincorporated part of town last 4th of July, and she was sitting on the roof. And she isn't that heavy, yet the roof was starting to cave in a bit. So I did some research online, and come to find out, the Chevy Tahoe does in fact have a fairly weak roof at the pivot where the windows are. So my concern about that vehicle was I would feel awful if we ever got into an accident and we flipped and somebody got hurt because the roof caved in, you know. And I was like, I love the look of it, I love the drive, it drove great, but I felt, you know, as a dad, I was like, nah, we're gonna trade this in, because I know the Odyssey is I mean, that's like super safe, you know, and it doesn't really flex at all if you sit on the roof.
Yeah, and it gets so much miles per hour, or miles to the gallon.
Yeah, I mean, I always put 93 octane in it because I get about 10 more horsepower in it by doing that versus the 87. It can take 87, but I'm getting about, I'm getting about, at the most, I'm getting about 28 miles to gallon on this highway. But I also put something into that Odyssey to prevent it from going into 4 and 3 cylinder mode, because it starts in 6 cylinder, and as the idea is, as you're driving along, it goes to 4 cylinder to get you better mileage. But over time, a lot of people have indicated that shifting back and forth between 6 cylinders and 4 can potentially damage your engine to the point that it ruins it. So they sell this kit. It's like $129, and you plug it in into near the motor, and it prevents that from happening. So it always stays in 6 cylinder, which is awesome for pickup. Like, if you just need to step on the gas, it doesn't have to go from 3 or 4 cylinders back to 6 first to take off. It's immediate. So there's definitely a difference, and that does detract from the mileage, but it's worth it.
So you were speaking about renting cars earlier. Well, we got like a Volvo or something one time, and it's the only time I've ever had a car like this. But when you would stop, at a light, it would turn the engine right off.
Oh, I hate that.
And I was like, how could that can't be good for the car, just to like, I'm only sitting here for a second and all of a sudden the engine turns off and then turns back on.
Yeah. I mean, here's why I hate it. I hate it because I'm the kind of person that I like a steady sound, whether
Is
it's an
that
engine,
yes.
or whatever. Even like if I'm sleeping, if I'm driving, I don't like to hear like I don't like. I just like it steady, whether it's loud music, whatever. But even when I went to California, we rented a car. What was it? It was a Volkswagen, like SUV, and the same thing. When you stop at a red light, the engine stops. The air conditioning is still going, but the engine just stops. And as soon as you hit the gas or take your foot off the brake, engine starts back up again, and you can just hear it. And it's annoying. It's like it makes you notice that rather than say your conversation or whatever it is, your music. And even cars next to you that have that, like Jeeps. I've seen some Jeeps that have that, and it just bothers me. It bothers me irrationally.
I'm wondering if they'll take it out eventually or something, but
Well, I think eventually you'll see probably mostly electric vehicles, and that'll always be quiet.
yeah. I think if the world goes completely electric, then it'll be fun to have a gas-powered car again.
Or diesel with a black smoke. Melissa says it was 91 in southern Illinois. Wow, that's hot.
There was a really funny. It was like a kind of like a reel or something. Like some of them are about a minute long, and it was like some guys pretending he's like a couple different car companies, and he's like, "Hey Ford, what are you up to?" And they're like, "Oh, we just made a electric Mustang that's like family fun and family. It's got four doors on it instead of two." And then he's like, another car company, "What are you doing?" "We're doing the same. We're trying to get more. We're making these cars less powerful, more gas mileage, and all this stuff." And then they get to it's like Dodge or something. Like, "Hey Dodge, what are you up to?" And Dodge is like, "We're trying to make a 700 horsepower minivan." Oh.
Well, that's not too far from the truth. Yeah, they definitely. I don't know about the quality of Dodge, but I will say that the look of those, like almost every Dodge vehicle, just looks amazing.
Yeah.
Like I don't know long term how like 10 years down the road how amazing it's going to look, but or operate. But man, they just look great. Like the Charger.
Yeah, all black. You get those like they look like with flat paint on them, where they just look like they're sleeping in the dark.
Just badass looking vehicles. Yep. So Dan says he can't imagine holidays anywhere it's warm besides the holidays in the summer. I could never move south. So Dan, it's true. Like I do miss having like a window where it's like Christmas time and you look out the window and there's snow coming down, or at least there's snow on the ground, and it just feels like Christmas. Christmas has a different feel in Texas. Mm-hmm. It just really does. But I don't like shoveling snow either, so I don't miss the shoveling of all that snow either. So
you probably would have like a plow or something, I'm sure, just kind of push it out of the way.
I did have a snow plow in Rhode Island. It was a snow blower. I had a snow blower, and I know I've told the story before, but the first time I got a chance to use it, the night before when it started to snow, a branch fell down, landed on the driveway, and then it got covered with snow. So I took the snowblower out, not realizing there was a branch under there, started blowing, getting rid of the snow, and broke the shear pin. And of course, they don't carry those at the store. You have to order those. It was like a couple of weeks before I could get that shear pin in. So I'm out there with a snowblower in my garage, and I'm out there with a shovel saying, "Dang it, I thought this whole point of this."
You're pushing, you're blowing snow, and all of a sudden you're blowing pieces of tree trunk.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't blowing anything. It was like it just stopped. Wait, this sounds interesting. Aldmir says they have wild monkeys here in Puerto Rico that had in the Hyatt that had escaped from a lab back in the 70s. How about that? That's interesting.
We went to California a couple years ago, and this guy had a zoo. And then he kind of just let all his animals go, but he's got a lot of property. Mm-hmm. And so if you drive in along the coast, in the middle of the state, and you look over, you might see a zebra. It is the craziest thing.
Really?
Yeah.
That is interesting. That's bizarre.
Yeah, he was a
Like,
really like eccentric rich guy that had a zoo and he had all this land, and now he's got zebras that are just like they're in the wild now.
there was a guy when I used to work at Fidelity Investments in Westlake, Texas. There was a property next to there that Ross Perot Jr. That guy. Have you heard of
Definitely
Ross
no Ross
Perot?
Perot.
So his son owns a whole bunch of land out there that he was selling to companies like Fidelity and other companies. And there was but he had a big open space out there, and apparently somebody gave him a camel. Typical
Okay.
gift, the normal thing, a normal camel. So
When you're
so
rich.
yeah, right. So he had a camel sitting out or standing out there on this property, and you've got all this cattle, and you've got one camel just standing aside from the cattle. Like the camel would sit in the other corner of the property. So you drive by and you'd be like, wait, is that a camel? It's like just bizarre. Oh, it looks like Steve has got to get to bed. He's going to get up at 4 a.m.
Oh man, he's getting up when some people go to bed.
Yes. He's going to have his breakfast and eat and get ready for work and walk 2 miles to work. It's 2 miles
Exercise. Well, at
uphill.
least the weather's not 2 miles up to your knees in snow.
Yes, 2 miles uphill. Yeah. Good thing it's not snowing, right?
If I had to go 2 miles like by walk, I would get one of those electric scooters because you could be passing by cars on those things. That'd be
Yeah.
a worthy investment.
I've seen a couple of those around, and today I saw somebody driving by, and they were on a bicycle, but they looked like they were going like twice as fast. They were pedaling, but they were going twice as fast as you would envision a bicycle going. But I believe it was an electric bicycle.
Yeah,
Uh,
a
it
lot of
just
them
looks
are like
weird.
they're pedal slash. Then the motor can kick in.
Yeah, but it's weird. It's like when you're at the airport and people are walking by you on those automated.
They're like escalators that go
They go
across.
straight though. They don't go up. They go straight, and it's like that's what it looked like in my brain. It looked like this guy was like just pedaling normal, but he's going twice the speed. I'm like, that's just doesn't register. Yeah. Perot, the dad, ran for president. He did way back
Yeah.
in like the 80s or late 80s.
He was known for the ears.
Yeah, he had those ears that were out. Yes. Yep. But he was super rich. Wasn't he like a billionaire? I think he was a billionaire. One of the
I'm
first
sure.
billionaires I knew
Probably.
I had heard of back then.
Yeah, probably.
So, well, let's see. Aldemir says he went to the beach and ended up with a beard tan that looked like he had a long bib on or an apron on his
Wow.
chest. I could see that.
Yeah, beards make really nice sunblock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do people ask? I was gonna say, do people ask you, don't you get hot in the summer with a beard?
No, but I heard a joke like that just today. Maybe you heard the same one. And the guy's comeback was, he's like, "Are you hot in the summer with your beard?" And he's like, "I'm hot all year round with my beard." It's just like I'm hot. But
Yeah. No, it wasn't that, but I'm like, you know what? It doesn't bother me in the summer. Like, I don't ever have a problem. Like, I feel like, oh man, if only I shaved this beard,
Yeah.
I'd be a lot cooler in the summer. It doesn't have anything to do
no,
like for
but
just really.
but if you shave it in the winter, you'll definitely feel it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's weird, like having like, all right, this is cold. If I put it here, I'll feel the cold. But you put this here, and it's like it feels fine. Like you don't feel the coolness of this, and it's the same thing with the cold weather.
I asked. We were down in like the islands, and there was a guy. It was a really hot day out. He's walking around on the beach, and he had a huge head of dreads, and it just went way up before it actually cascaded down. And I remember, and he had a hat. I think he might even had a hat over it. And I asked him, "Do you get hot with your heavy dreaded hair?" And he said it helped him stay cool. So I don't know. It was like shade or something.
It's like, yeah,
I couldn't
shade or
figure it out,
insulation.
Yeah. I
So
don't know.
Ellie had an electric scooter, which was a Razor E300. Wiped out twice and messed herself up.
Ooh.
Even 15 miles an hour can jack you up. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, just run into a wall at 15 miles an hour and see what it feels like.
Yeah, no, you don't want to even fall at like when you get to 40. You don't even want to fall.
No, exactly. Because it will jack you up.
But I'm sure you can get ones with like, wheels that have a little bit better. Like I always think of the thing with like skateboards. You'd hit like a pebble, and your skateboard just stops, dead stops, and you keep going.
Yes. And it's like, what the hell? Yeah, exactly. It doesn't take a lot to wipe out on a skateboard. That's why they need to have those like Back to the Future skateboards where you can literally float above the ground.
They've tried it. It's magnets. The best they've got so far is magnets.
But you
They're
need a
like,
right
oh,
surface.
if you put a magnet on top of a magnet, it kind of just won't touch.
Yep. Beards cool in the summertime. They do. Here it is. We've been talking. It's 9 o'clock just, but we even haven't done a giveaway yet. So let me just check. I want to also see if we're doing any bonus giveaways because I have not even opened up Shopify yet tonight.
Somebody was talking about possums, and Bearded Crocs has a possum. Possums are real hot right now. A lot of possum Instagram.
They're out. They're out in the this is the time where they come out. I saw a possum last month in the backyard, and it does look creepy. Someone just said,
It does.
Yeah, Ellie, I think said it looked creepy. They do. They just look like they just want to, like they're out of a horror movie.
Right. They got like
Look
the
at you.
long,
Yeah.
pointy white snout with these black beady little eyes.
Yes, exactly. And you're like, holy crap. All right. Yeah, rub it in that I don't have pine tar soap anymore.
Oh, I do. I was going to show it off.
Who
And
makes
it hasn't shrunk.
Is that mine or is that another
Yeah,
company's?
yeah. I still have a bar of yours. Untouched.
Well, really?
Yeah, and it smells great and it looks great. I even brought some soap out here to show you something about your soap.
Cool. Well, bring it on because I talked to Barbara about that. I mentioned that, hey, people are asking for that pine tar soap again.
So here's your soap. This is the tobacco, and you can tell because this one is turn around. This one is obviously shampoo. This one is conditioner. We just got a new puppy, and that's it. We hung up bells, and it has a little let you know. They do make doggy doorbells. So, thing I want to tell you is I only have these two, but one of the most beloved ways that you can tell that people love a product, and I've had these. Geez, I feel like I've almost ordered this a year ago, but I've had them for like 3 seasons. Is the labels are almost, they look washed out. They're literally, look at the label on this one. It's completely
that is washed
white.
out.
It's lost all its color.
That is the Dymo label printer, thermal printer, which I have color labels now for those.
So it has no color left on it because that's how many times I've used it.
Wow.
I only use it like a few drops.
Yeah, that's all you really need. You don't need to, have too much because it suds up real quick.
Yeah, yeah. And I was just like, as long as everything's sudded up, you don't need like soap dripping off of soap because then it's just going to waste.
Yes. And Steven's right. I did send him my very last bar of pine tar soap.
And he's saving it, so he does still have it. So, and I still have mine. It's got a pine tar, but it's not just pine tar. There's something else in it.
Is it the
Great
anise?
smell.
Like a licorice smell?
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I think that's the one Bearded Ninja 984 has as well. That was literally the last bar. So, but luckily Barb does remember how to make it. So at some point I may bring them back, but I'm only going to bring it back with 1 scent if I do that because otherwise it just becomes like I just don't have the space to store 4 or 5 or 10 different scents of soap, and
Mhm.
maybe someone will buy it and maybe someone won't. So I'd rather just have 1 scent, because people should buy it for that, I think, for the for what it's good for, rather than necessarily for the scent. So I just want to make sure it's a good scent, and then we'll just have 1 scent. But I'm not sure
So
one will roll it out.
you made a oud power bar, and I got it a couple years ago. I made a video on it. That stuff,
Yes.
I can just like inhale. It was so good because rarely is there a men's bar soap that just smells manly and like I've never had like another oud, solid oud smelling bar of soap. I would love to get my hands back on something like that.
Well, maybe that could be the scent I come out with. I will tell you that I do have a one of the ouds I bought, uh, not to necessarily replace the birchwood oud, but to have some more ouds, because I use birchwood oud with yours, with that bar of pine tar soap. But
It was great.
there's another oud I have, and to me it smells almost exactly like the ivory. No, I'm sorry. The Dial Gold, that Dial
Is it
soap that's a gold color.
okay?
Um,
I've never had it, but
all right, so it's got a very clean, uniquely clean smell. That for a while they stopped selling that Dial liquid soap, and I'm like, no, that's my favorite scent for a regular. You put it in the sponge or whatever and just wash yourself. It lathers up real nice. That was the one
mhm.
I really loved the smell of that. And when they stopped making it, I'm like, oh no, where am I gonna? There's nothing else like that. But I found
Yeah.
this particular oud, and it has that similar scent. So maybe I'll put that. Maybe I'll use that one.
They
Satisfy CC
say
needs.
that like Tide and all of that, it gives people like these really warm feelings of because their mothers would use Tide and it's all they ever smelled on their clothes and it was smell of being cleaned and loved and all that. So
Hmm.
the smell of Tide is a very deep ingrained smell in all of our or whatever you use. Tide's probably the most famous, but
So since Steve has to go, whoops. Let's do a giveaway real quick, because he's right. It's been an hour. I want to do a giveaway, and before it gets too late, let me see. Let's do hashtag. Let's do clean. Hashtag clean.
mm.
So just to wake you guys up, let me make sure you guys know we are doing a giveaway. It is hashtag clean. All right, so it's going to be hashtag clean, and let's see how many people we've gotten. 3 entries so far. 5. Okay, cool.
I might have to hop in on this one because it's a clean giveaway. There's no you show the spinning wheel and all that, so we know it's run
Yeah,
right.
well, it's the StreamYard giveaway tool, so you're going to see everybody's name pop up. It's
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
different than the wheel picker, but yeah, it's similar.
It's kind of a wheel.
Well, it looks
I'm
like,
hopping in on this one. I
yeah, go
usually
for it.
don't, but
There we go. It looks like this. We got 15 entries, 19 people here. Jordan, enter, bro. Jordan, enter, bro.
I always feel bad if I see somebody like misspell. I'm like, oh no. I
And
don't
then,
think
so
it matters
Aldemir, huh?
if you use caps or lowercase. That's not a big deal.
I don't think so. It shouldn't matter. Still only 5 likes. 5 likes. I
I
wonder
bet
how
he
many
just has to
unlikes we got.
refresh. I've got more than 5 on mine.
Uh,
So he
let me
hasn't
look.
seen he hasn't refreshed since he hit it that far
Okay.
ago.
I've got 15 likes on here. All right. So, and 17 entries. Cool. Um,
You know, having Greeter on is such a nice thing because everybody likes to be welcomed in by their own name, and he does that. It just feels so good.
yes, absolutely. Um, and he is a moderator too on the show too. So, which is great. I don't think I generally don't need moderators on this show. People know it's a nice place to just kind of relax. It's not going to get it's not going to get stressful, or it's not going to get you know political, things like that. It's just here to hang out, have fun. That's all. That to me, that's what this show is all about. It's just relaxing, de-stressing after a long week, and just hanging out with friends. So that's what it is. So, but every now and then you get these accounts that come in and try to pick all you guys up, send them money. So we do need someone to keep those people out. So Bearded Ninja, I hope you got a chance to enter, and Emo's in here too. Hello, Ferocious family, great to see you. Matt Foley's here as well, thank you. Garrett Bailey. Here's where I get a chance to really figure out who's here that didn't maybe say hi yet. Bearded Metal Chef, how are you, sir? Hope you're doing well, man. Thank you so much for being here, my friend.
I have, so Maximus was a big time giveaway winner, especially back in the day. And we would chat every now and then, trade some secrets on how you could win. There was just little tweaks here and there. It would up your chances of winning. But now the hashtag thing's kind of minimized. It's pretty much done without all those little tricks are gone now with the hashtag. But it's nice. It's just no pressure. Put your hashtag in. It's not even a rush. It's the number thing would be like, I have to run. I got my number. Because if there was 2 4s, the first 4 gets it. But,
yes. Yeah, I know exactly. You pick a number and like, oh well, if you don't enter within the first 5 seconds, then you might as well just turn off because you're not going to get it. Russ, I noticed that odd. Oh yeah, no Vado or E-Rock this evening. Yeah, I have not seen either of them tonight either. So Garrett just has been hanging out, enjoying you and Jordan's conversation. Awesome.
Thanks,
He went on a day tension.
Who is Eldam? No, somebody you saw on Instagram the other day. You were doing a live on Tuesday. Well, this is what's really funny. You're like, I'm not coming on and doing a live on YouTube on Tuesday, but then you were like, I'm just thinking what I think that you were thinking. You're like, I'm just going to make some sense and kind of roll some live while I'm making some things. But people just kept coming on and all throughout the night. So you technically did a live, but just an Instagram live on Tuesday.
Yeah, so it was an Instagram because I was like, oh my gosh, I got to get these orders out. I got to get this stuff done. And I just wanted to get stuff out. But at the same time, I rarely kind of let you guys see my workspace. Not because I don't want you to see it. It's just, to me, this space is so cramped. It's a room, right? It's a regular room. Now I don't do everything in here. I have other places where I can, work on. Like I've got down in the garage. I've got this huge wax melter that I use to make my bulk unscented stuff. But I have everything exactly where I need it to get stuff done. But it's not like this, 2,000 square foot factory, which is exactly what I don't want. For what I do now. Like maybe in the future that would be nice, but for what I do, this serves me well, So we got 18 entries. All right, let's go ahead and pick a winner. Everybody can, if you've already typed in #clean, we're going to pick a winner in the next, we'll count to 3. 1, 2, 3. There we go.
I love seeing all the pictures. Oh, yeah, there I am. Oh, there I am.
There you are again. This is a tool from StreamYard. Bearded Metal Chef, congratulations, sir. You win. So I'll be sending you a $25 gift card.
He's got the luck beyond any luck I've ever seen.
Yeah, when it comes to giveaways, that is true.
That was strictly luck, and he's got more luck than anybody else I know when it comes to giveaways.
Mm-hmm. So, well, congratulations to you, Chef. Nice job. And I'm glad you popped in, man. So, yeah, awesome. Everybody's congratulating. See, that's really cool. Shaky's here. What's going on, Billy? How are you doing, man? Is it hot down there in Georgia? I bet it is.
It was up here in Michigan. It gets hot. It does. It gets cold and hot. It was 90 yesterday.
Oh, 90's pretty. It's getting there.
Emo's a big winner. He wins all kinds of things. He's probably got a whole closet full of like wardrobe from different clothing companies he wins from, and just he wins different things that you wouldn't think are like prizes.
Yeah, yeah. Emo, although he still hasn't got his scent picked on Collaboration Corner yet, and I know that's what he's really waiting for. Let me go get it. I just want to. The coup de grace is still up on the board. It's been on the board for like about a year now. So keep playing, Emo. We'll get it on there one day, man. I bet. I just have a good feeling. Stop in for a beer or two. Oh, are you going on IG later? Okay, yeah, I might do that. I'm going to send out the, whatever prizes. And yes, as Emo says, you know it. I'm never giving up on it.
Well, so. and the good thing about you going on IG on Tuesday was there's some people that interact with you on IG, but for some reason they will never make that trip to YouTube. They'll never do it. And so you ignore them all if you don't spend a little bit of time on IG.
Yeah. No, you're right. And sometimes I've done like IG giveaways where I'm like, okay, on this Friday I'm doing a giveaway on because we have so many X amount of followers on IG. If you want to enter, use a certain word, and then I'll do the giveaway on this platform, because I find that IG platform for giveaways is really hard to do easily. You can do it manually. You have to, like, I take basically everybody's name where I see that they posted something and I paste it into the wheel. But there's no tool that I've been able to find other than a few years ago when I first got on it. It was easier and it was free. I think there's some tools now that you can buy, like as an app, but it's complicated. It's not like this.
IG with the number picker, you would put in your number and you would see it. Like you would see your number come up, and then people that were running the contest would never even have seen your name show up. That's how IG couldn't handle everyone give me a number from 1 to 15. It couldn't handle it.
Yeah, so. And I've entered giveaways on IG where there's no proof that someone won. It's just, oh, here you go. This is who won. Like, how? Yeah. Like, how did they win?
Well, it'd almost be like if I see it. That's kind of like the luck too. Like it's all luck. If you happen to see whatever you see first, that's the luck of it.
Yeah, exactly. So Ellie won 3 oils from Mudcat Whiskers last night, and you received those 3 oils today. Nice. Speaking of Mudcat Whiskers, I'm going to be on his IG show next week. And without getting into too many details, the premise is he and I, we started with a particular essential oil, and we started, like, I built a scent and he built a scent using that essential oil and then whatever else we wanted to add to our own scents. And so we sent them to each other, and so it's in the mail now heading to him. So next Wednesday on his IG, I think it's at 9 p.m. On Wednesday, May 18th, go to his IG channel, and I will be live on his show, and we're going to just talk about how we came up with these scents, how many, I don't know if we'll talk about how many drops we put in them. I don't care if you know how many drops I put in it, but some people do care, proprietary secret, but I don't care because it was a scent that it came out really, really nicely. But if you want to make this scent at home, feel free, although I will tell you, you will need a particular fragrance oil that you probably don't have, but you can get it. But anyway, take a look at his show on next Wednesday on Instagram, and I'll be there. So Corey from Weatherbeard Supply Co. is here. What's going on, Corey? I hope you're doing well, man. You doing anything this weekend? You working any events? I am actually taking a day off from the farmers market tomorrow, but I will be back at it next Saturday. How are you doing? I know you just had that huge move to Tennessee, and I know you're kind of settled in now. But how did that move go for you overall?
We had a neighbor. He just, I guess he's packing up and moving. He had a moving truck in front of his house. It was
Hmm.
bigger than his house. That thing was a monster.
The
And the
moving truck
way,
was bigger than his house. Was it like
yeah,
those
yeah,
wide loads on the highway?
I almost was like one of those double ones, so it could like turn. It had like a section in the middle, but it was really big.
Oh wow. Yeah,
That's a,
it's. I'm not doing anything. My shop needs a $4,000 air conditioning replacement. Ouch. Well, yeah. Now that the hot weather's getting here, that's when these problems start to show themselves. It's when it's 90 degrees out. Oh, the air conditioning stopped working. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, man. That's. We just had to spend 600 on dehumidifiers. Oh, because the floors were wet. Yeah, and especially you've got all that product in there. I know it's typically covered, but still, you don't want humidity in those rooms. I'm having a little slight problem with my printer printing these color labels because like for some reason I had taken some of my sticker paper out and Jordan froze up, I think. Oh, there you are. Yeah, you're like this.
I was just listening.
Oh, um, but yeah, the humidity just it's not even humid. It doesn't feel like to me, but the sticker paper detects it, and so when you go to put that sticker paper into the printer to print out like 12 stickers, it starts to kind of go in crooked. And so I've learned to keep it in the packaging each page and just pull one out at a time.
So we got our carpets washed, and the guy's like, don't run your air conditioning to get the moisture out, because like they always say, like turn the air conditioning on, it kind of cuts down the humidity. He's like,
Yeah.
it doesn't. It'll actually trap the humidity running the air conditioning because it just feels more comfortable in the humidity, but it actually does the opposite when it comes to it's like having a wet towel and throwing it in the fridge. It's never going to dry, you know. So
So
there's
I
like,
don't know. There may be some truth to that, but there's also on the other end of the spectrum. Like I have Ecobee thermostats, and they talk about using the air conditioner to control humidity, and it will show the level of humidity in the air inside the house, at least at the thermostat.
yeah.
But what it really does is it just makes it a little colder and drops it a little, but you will never get like super low humidity.
Mhm.
But yeah, a dehumidifier, I think you're exactly on the right spot track. Even when you get your new air conditioning unit set up, yeah, you'll probably want to keep those dehumidifiers running just to help out with that because it's weird. Like you can't even detect, like I said, you can't even detect that it's humid inside, but things that you have that require no humidity will show you that yes, it is humid.
I always thought of it. My mom runs a
Thanks, Corey.
dehumidifier. It always reminds me of like like if you had a cold bottle of beer and it gets those
Yeah.
little beads of water on it, and that's like the humidity coming out of the air, and then it kind of like just kind of collects and drips into a bucket. It's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like that, but it gets it kind of warm, I think, and then it collects on this coil and then drops into a bucket. But I don't know.
Hey, Mike. Mike Watson's in the house.
I think
How's it
Mike
going, man?
gave himself a new look on Instagram. He shaved his beard
Yep.
shorter, not all the
Shorter.
way.
Still there, though. Yep. But yeah, it's like, everybody at some point, I think they just feel maybe, oh, let me try a new look out, or let me, you know, just cut a little off the top or something. Good stuff. So, I've read like people are moving because of costs of living and things like that. A lot of people moving away from like even I mean same thing, same old story. People moving away from California. People moving away from the Northeast, And I know Texas is one of the states people are moving into. Tennessee is one of the places people are moving into. Florida. And it just reminds me because Corey has moved to Tennessee. And I read a story the other day I think it was in New York Times, about a local couple from Tennessee who was actually moving out because so many people were moving into Tennessee that was raising the prices of property. And so they were moving out, and I was like, oh, that's kind of ironic that a lot of people moving in because of the cost of living, yet they're moving out. I don't know where they're moving to, but...
Well, cost of your property going up. If you own a piece of property, you're making money off of it.
Mm-hmm.
With everyone, coming in and raising the prices up. But that's the thing, when people are like, it's expensive, houses are expensive to buy. But if you own a house, then you're going to get just as much out of your house. Your cost of your house went up, or your price of your house went up. But then also the price of buying another house went up. So
yeah.
I don't know. It kind of works out.
It's like, I mean, if there was a place where, like, if it was like parts of the country where the prices were going up, and then other parts where they were staying the same or even going down, it would be awesome to be able to, like, okay, I'll sell my house now here for this price and then move here and get a better, bigger, or less property taxes or something beneficial house here where it's cheaper. But it's just really, it's like, it would make no sense to sell, like, for example, my house went up in value since I bought it, but everywhere else it's gone up in value. So, like,
right.
It doesn't make any sense to sell this and move somewhere and get something that 2 years ago I could have gotten for a couple $100,000 less, because everything's raised up.
I always think of it, there's some of those countries where they're like, these people live on $2 a day, And I was thinking, if you the money you could, if you retired, so you don't have to make any more money anymore, and then you go there to live, you would just be living so high up. If it's a $2 a day type of a place.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you would. Like, I mean, parts of, like, South America, I think, are like that. Mexico, parts of Mexico.
Yeah, you would be like, basically royalty.
Yeah, but I don't know. What's the downside? There's got to be a downside. I mean,
if you got kids, you're like, I don't see them anymore. But other than that.
Yeah, other than that. I mean, we live in Texas, and all our family's up in the Northeast, so we rarely see them. So,
yeah.
So, a couple of things. Beard Mike Watson is here. He had a job interview yesterday. He thought went like crap, but he got a call this evening that he's at the top of the candidate list. So that is really awesome, Mike. Congratulations, and keeping our fingers crossed. And if you need any help getting rid of those other candidates, just you shoot me an email. I know some buddies up in Rhode Island that would be probably happy to take care of that for you.
Some of those questions they ask in interviews just drive me nuts, though. They're like, this is the one that drives me, though. I never really thought of a good answer, but they're always like, what's the thing that you feel you could do better in there? It's like you have to rat yourself out as the answer they want. They're like, no, I'm not doing that. I don't. That's a trick question.
Yeah. It's like, how have I answered questions like that in the past? I think I've said something like, and it was true, but at the same time, it was like, there's no matter what you say, it sounds like you're like grasping at straws. But I think I said something like, I think I would have probably, if I were to do this again, I would have delegated more to other people, so I wasn't doing so much on my own.
Oh, that's
something like that.
That's a good one. Yeah, that'd be a really good one. I do so much work. I need to take myself, give myself a break. Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, it is true, though. I am not good at delegating. And I've learned to do better. There's a project I'm working on now that I'm delegating things, and it helps me a lot. But, yes, I have this vision of different things, of however it is I want it to be, and it's like I'm the kind of person that I'm too much. I try to rely just on what my thought process, rather than let the reins go and let people do what they envision, and then
Yeah.
it will work out, you know. So Peter Metal Chef, he said he just saw he won. Thank you so much. That's so awesome. Thank you guys. You're absolutely welcome, and I'm so glad you won. And I'll be sending that off to you this evening. But congratulations.
Well, you know, it's so funny. He probably wins so much that it's more of a shock when he doesn't win. He's like, "What? I didn't win."
Oh, that's funny.
So,
So let's see. Rick said he had a house in Houston when Carter was president. 16.5% interest rate. Wow. Yeah, the interest rate was pretty high back then. But then again, I think my dad bought a house in Providence, Rhode Island back in like 72, 73. It was a $14,000 house, you know. Not to say that people, I mean, you know, a $14,000 house back then was probably the equivalent of like a $150,000 house 2 years ago,
right.
you know. But still, it's like
That's my mother-in-law. Her house is probably was like 19,000. They still live in it,
wow.
and they had those like 20% interest rates.
Yeah, we refinanced our old house when we were there because it went down so much. I think when we first moved, it was like 6.5%, and then that was like 07, and then a couple years later, it went down to like 3%. So we were like, yeah, we'll refinance. Yeah, there's a question.
I was gonna say, when we bought our house, I didn't even know how those things went. I didn't even know what 4% meant. I didn't know you were paying 4% of the total price every month. I didn't even know that.
Oh, yeah, I guess if you think of it that way.
Yeah, I didn't even know how that worked. Okay, sure.
Metal Chef says he's laughing at that. More of a shock to others that I didn't win. Oh, yeah, that's true though. Sometimes my brother does IT work and got asked how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich during an interview.
That's an easy one. Well, the trick question, it was a trick. We used to have these mind Olympics, and they would be like, okay, you're going to put the jelly. If you didn't say open the lid first, then you how did you get it out without opening the lid? There was like tricks all along.
Yeah. Yeah, that corporate stuff, I don't miss that stuff at all.
Yeah.
No, Sam's got to get back to work. You'll have a blessed weekend. Sam, thank you so much for coming in, man, and you have a great weekend yourself. And we will. Oh, I will say before you guys, if anyone is jetting, my thought for Collaboration Corner is to merge the two shows into one show, and it'll probably be on a Friday night, and so it's going to be basically like for say the first hour will be Collaboration Corner, and then we'll magically switch everything to the Ferocious Friday Free-For-All for the remainder of the show. That way people can still get their scent choices in. I want to do that. I love that show. But I'm just trying to get back a little bit of my time for family. So I'm thinking that the best way to do that is to combine the two shows into one evening. So it'll just be like a megaplex of a show every week. Two shows in one.
I do love your Tuesdays, though. I love Tuesdays. It's because there's Tuesdays like the slowest day of the week. You know, that's the day they would give pizza deals on. Be like, come in Tuesday, you can get a pizza deal, because they know nobody was going out on a Tuesday. But,
yeah, no, you're right. But no, I'm just thinking about what works best, and I'm thinking that's going to work probably best for now. And I'm a small company. I can change things on a dime if I need to. So we'll try that out and see what happens. So let me see if I missed any more comments. No, I think I'm doing all right for comments. I think that's, I don't know. Anything else you can think of about Reels that you failed to mention? I'm trying to.
Reels. It's a good play on name, because you got the REEL and you got the REAL, so it's a good play on names right there. No, I just think if you have never made a reel, just make one, and you'd be like, wow, it's just kind of nice. knowing that all these extra people, it's shocking because you're like, I know 100 people might kind of see my stuff, and then when you see 400 people, you're like, where did these extra 300 people come from? It's just amazing to think of a room filled with 300, 400, 1,000 people that might have seen your stuff. It's like you're presidential at that point.
I
So
know
make
what you
one.
mean.
And there's no harm in making one. Just make one. It's fun.
Yeah. Russ, to answer your question, there will be a live stream this Tuesday. Yeah, I don't want to just hit people up or hit people with it without letting them know in advance. So, yes, there will be a collaboration corner Tuesday night. But then I will make the announcement Tuesday night that going forward, we'll merge it into one show on Friday night. Probably like 8 to 9 will be collaboration corner, and then say 9 to, or 8 to 9:15, something like that. Whatever, however it breaks itself down, and then we'll do the rest of it for whatever we want to do for the rest of the evening.
I'm already thinking of something right now with what you just said. When that time changes over, you have to like change your background. It just becomes something completely different.
Oh yeah, it'll definitely change. It'll be
almost like put on a hat. You're like, here's, and then you switch on a new cap or something. Kind of
Yeah,
fun. At
it's
least
like-
do it for your initial show. It'd be kind of funny.
it'll be like that, and it'll be something different or something. It may be
Yeah.
a little longer than that. I don't think I can do all the changes I need in 4 seconds, but
Where did you get that cat running? Where did that come from? Like how did you get the graphics to do that?
yeah, that graphic came from a website that creates, like, they have pre-canned graphics that you can adjust the colors and things like that.
Yeah.
And I had this guy up here
Your logo?
as my logo, but it was always a frontal view, and I saw that and I was like, man, with red eyes, that kind of like matches. It's like a side profile of that guy, but it's just it almost, see, I think they called that running creature a panther though, so it almost defined the animal as a panther, which it really never started out as a panther. It isn't necessarily a panther. It could be a bear, it could be a lion, it could be a
Could be
panther.
something with legs and arms.
Yeah, like someone said. I was like, oh man, that just
I
ruined it
said
for me.
that.
Yeah, you did, right? And
It's cute.
it's like,
When you think of it with little arms and little legs, it becomes really cute.
yeah.
It's not ferocious at that point.
Yeah, but it's so the cool thing I liked about it was that it was like different for everybody. Just like everybody has a different personality, a different beard, and like that's why I like this logo so much, is because it is, you kind of define it for yourself. So when
Well,
you have
too,
that
if there was like a little bear, there's a little bear in like Japanese Japan. There's a little bear that's like special. You could break into like international with a certain type of a like little bear logo.
really,
I
So,
don't know.
welcome
They
to,
just, they love those little bears. But it's got the round ears like a little bear, like a little teddy bear.
yeah, it's not a possum for sure. There you go. So Rick has a good question. He says, I guess I'm naive or ignorant, but are shorts a moneymaker?
You have to be at 1,000 just to make money. They don't let you make anything until you've hit 1,000 subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing was, I'm not at 1,000. I'm at like 800, and I never had commercials because they don't start commercials at 1,000, but now they do. So I've got a couple commercials, and I'm not getting paid a dime.
Because they're like, well, it's our platform, so you want to host stuff on our platform, we're gonna make money on behalf of your videos until you hit 1,000, and then you can monetize.
I don't know anything about it. And then you have to have a certain amount of hours you have to have under your belt. You have to do these lives because the lives give you hours of content where a video only gives you minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I will say, like lives though, most people, unless they missed the show and really want to go back and hear it, like sometimes on Collaboration Corner,
Mhm.
they typically won't watch it again. Like they'll just, or they won't go back and watch it. They'll just watch when it's live.
Unless you put a hidden message in the middle where you have to come up with the secret code word.
But how would you know if they were watching it live or not? Like, and they,
Yeah, I don't
that
know.
would be fun. There might be a way to do that. Uh, you know what you'd have to do? You'd have to. You could maybe string. You could flash a word real quick, or a letter. Flash a letter every couple, like every randomly every, I don't know, 4.5 minutes or something,
Yeah.
and then not tell people that, and then so after the show's done, you go back and say, so for those of you that missed it, we did drop a mysterious word in there. You just have to tell me what the word is, and so people go back and watch it to
Oh.
catch that.
Or people that weren't there that day. They were working and they're like, what did I miss?
Yep. Oh, you missed a lot, brother.
Little bears are
um,
not ferocious. Little bears are not ferocious, but big bears are very
big
ferocious.
bears are very ferocious. Yes, and the most important thing to remember is your beard is ferocious. Ferocious Beard Company solves the problem of your ferocious beard by putting beard oil in it.
Yeah,
It's not so much.
Nate is not ferocious.
Yeah,
At
it's
least he
not
doesn't
me.
look ferocious.
It's you. You're the ferocious one in a the grand scheme of things. You all are the ferocious people.
Right. Well, yeah, and it could just be like, ferociously tackle your dreams and, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Just which is true. I mean, when I first started the company, it was like think ferociously, meaning don't be mad, but grab it and just grab your life as um, like take control of it and do what you want to do because life is so short. Now that's not to say give up what you got now because and just you know you know try start again. No, but like just like incorporate things that you want to do into your life so that you can get to where you want to be over time. It's a journey. It's not like
Right.
instantly it's going to change, but sometimes people find they're in a job they just can't stand, but they're only in it and they're not even looking for anything else because they feel like that's all they can do. But
Right.
they can do so much more.
They
it's
know
just,
those tough interview questions are there. They don't want to mess with
yeah,
them.
right. That's true. Yeah, tough interview. Hey, you know something? That's the reason I didn't want to go back into the police academy again to go through that again. I didn't want to get tased again. Like
Oh,
I'll take the OC, but there's no way you're gonna tase me again. If you're telling like before when I went through the training, they're like, oh, you don't get the certification that you were tased until you complete the training. Oh, in that case, then guess I'm not coming back. you know,
jeez.
because it
Yeah,
sucks, man.
that's the thing. Like, I'm a big guy, but like a taser will take down a big guy just like anything else, you know? Doesn't matter how big you are, how little you are with a certain kind of taser, you're dropping.
Oh yeah, it's not good. Like when I was tased, they hold you like
Yeah,
they
one on
hold you
each
in
side of
place
your
and they
arm.
tase you in the back. Um, and for me, the experience was like I I immediately started going like oh and like screaming because it hurt. And as I was screaming like in pain, I could feel my breath going out, and I could literally envision in my head like a line level of air here, and then I'd be like,
Uh-huh.
oh, and it would keep going down and down, and then I was like, oh man, I hope this ends quick because I don't have any more ahs left, and or nor any more air.
Yeah,
And
you were
luckily,
burning it out quicker.
yeah, it's a 7 second. They called ride the wave. It was 7 second or ride the lightning, I guess, and it was 7 seconds. And after 7 seconds, it automatically stops. Uh, but that's why I cringe when I watch some of those police videos and they're tasing somebody, and I hear that because I know if that's 7 seconds, you're going to hear that. And then if I hear it again, that means they're getting another 7 seconds of it, and
Oh.
it's like, oh gosh.
Or
Uh,
they do those. They did those gas chambers. They would. throw you in like a little shack and throw you put a mask on, but then they would like smoke you in the army or whatever. Well,
Yeah, I remember that in the Air Force we did that, and we
that
were in the
didn't sound
second
fun
row.
either.
No, the first row was in front of us, like the first line of people, and I was in the second line, and they're like, and we all had gas masks on, and they put the smoke in there, and then okay, they're like, first line, take your mask off, and you have to say like your name, your social security number, and there's something else, and so like I'm in the second line, looking at all the first line people, and after 2 or 3 seconds, like in unison, they all started like bending down and coughing and getting mucus and stuff out of their nose, and their eyes were dripping. It was awful. And then I'm like, oh crap, I'm next. Like, this is gonna suck. It's much better to be the taser than the tasey. Yeah, but that's the reason they needed us to feel it, because they needed to know that you knew what it could do to somebody.
There's probably a little bit of hazing that's involved too. Hazing kind of like builds a brotherhood, I guess.
Yeah, people would see how you reacted. I reacted very well actually to OC spray. Like by that I mean, most of the class would have rather gone through the tase because it was only 7 seconds. But I couldn't stand how it made me feel. And the OC spray, even though it took a half hour to get all that out of your eyes, and then you still had to, when you go home and you shower a second time, it comes back. At least, I mean, I'd stand in front of the fan and it was relaxing. Like it was hurt, but I could just relax and let it just slowly calm me down. You know? So, all right. Well, it is 9:42. We've got 8 people here. So I'm going to do one more giveaway just because.
Drop
So
the
this
secret
one-
word.
Yeah, so what will the word be? Why don't you
You
pick
almost
a
tell a
word this
punch
time?
like a joke. Tell a joke at this point, and then retell. Well, you just let it's an inside joke come Tuesday. If you weren't here Friday, you don't know what a possum means. Something like that.
Oh, yeah, people will be ticked. Well, actually, though, as soon as someone types the word, though, then the next one's going to be like, oh, that's the word, and they'll type it. But yeah, I know what you mean, though. How about, let's do, I don't know. Why is it so hard to think of a word? I don't know. You got a good word?
Never quit. That was my favorite slogan from your bottles.
Never quit. Hashtag never quit. All right. All right. Hashtag never quit is going to get you a $25 gift card if you win. So let's see. So Bearded Metal Chef won the first one. Let's see who wins this one.
Russ is showing us how to spell it.
Yep. Never quit. You were the first one to type it, and here they all come now.
I'm jumping in. I want to see. It's always more fun to be the potential of winning. I like the idea of competition just as much as I like winning, something.
Yeah. It would be fun to have like a game show where we could figure out like, answer some questions and then narrow it down or different, I don't know, but I mean, I haven't had the time to figure out a structure for that, but I think that would be fun to do.
Had that. You kind of had that. You had the A, B, C, or D.
Yeah, but it takes so much time to actually come up with that and make it that I can't do it every week because I just don't have the time for it.
And it was like I think a speed. Here's one of my ways to like cheat the system. Mm-hmm. I think it was a whoever had the first A. If it was A, whoever had the first A got entered in or something like that. And I was never quick enough because I think my phone always just operates a few seconds slower than, say, my wife's phone. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, all right, I'm just going to say C. because I have a 1 in 4 chance of winning, with just guessing C. So,
Oh,
because otherwise
sneaky.
I'm too slow. I know the answer, but I'm too slow to just guess.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've got 7 entries, and it looks like 9 people here. So I'll just wait another minute or so.
The odds are better. These are your good odds.
Yeah.
Much better than the lottery.
Oh, that's for sure.
The
Definitely.
odds on the lottery are horribly bad.
Bearded Crocs is here. What's going on? Never quit. All right, good. Nicholas Z. Bearded, he just wrote check. 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 There is entry. Okay, we got 7 entries still. Okay, so we'll give it another 10 seconds. And then we'll go ahead and draw. There's 8 entries.
I guess the newest thing on Instagram right now is these like portraits that look like almost like paintings of your face.
Oh, yeah, I've seen a few of those. Those are just like filters, right?
I would guess they look pretty nice. They really like make your features stand out pretty well. But
all right. So a couple more people entered. So here we go. We're going to draw now. 1, 2, 3.
if it's slowing down and you see your face, it's probably not going to be you. Oh, great.
Russ Young. Congrats, Russ. You are the winner of a $25 gift certificate to ferociousbeard.com.
And the fact that Russ has a Ferocious hat on can't be too bad either.
Yes, that is awesome. And he just posted a little blurb. Please don't forget Wednesday, 5. Hold on a second. 5/18 at 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 Eastern. I will be on Mudcat Whiskers live stream. Yes, absolutely. Thanks for that reminder. And Nicholas from Mudcat Whiskers and I will be talking about scent creation and kind of what goes into our minds about that. And we'll also be talking about specific scents that we just created for each other to kind of as an example of that. So, yes, thanks for the reminder, Russ Young. Absolutely. So that'll be this Wednesday coming up on Instagram. Woohoo! Awesome. All right. Well, Jordan, thank you very much for being on the show, man. I appreciate that. You're definitely somebody that is a very interesting character, and there's a lot of a lot of knowledge that you have about these Instagram videos, YouTube videos, things like that keep us all entertained. So thank you very much.
If you ever get a chance to just cut a yard, you've got a whole hour to just think for yourself. There's nothing else but just deep thoughts, and just you're keeping busy with your hands and all that. So if you ever cut a lawn, it really gives you a lot of time to think about stuff. And I'm out cutting lawn there. I'm the one that has to cut the lawn, so get a little extra thinking time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm like, I will see other people's creatives, and I'll be like, gosh, why didn't I think of that? That just is like, I don't know. It's like I get like these mind freezes when it comes to like creating things. And like I was like, for the first time, I was like, hey, I actually created something that I feel is like entertainment worthy. And that was the one I just put out on where it was like drink like this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then, but the first video was not the one that was the best, but to me was the one when I also have myself drinking without that, and it just poured all down my beard and mustache. And like, that's the one that got less views than the original. And that's the one I thought was the better one.
Well, I'm wondering too if you like use the same. My mic's falling down now. If you use the same hashtags, maybe they're like, "Oh, he's done this already," and we got he had his shot.
Yeah, but like you really couldn't use the I couldn't have made the second one without the first one being there. That's the only problem. Because, well, maybe I could have. Could I? No, I guess I couldn't. Anyway. All right, guys. That, I think, is going to do it for me and Jordan. Again, thank you for being on the show. I hope to see you guys Tuesday for Collaboration Corner. And then on that night, I'll talk about merging the two shows into one show, probably that following Friday. And then, I should mention too, at the end of May, I will be going on a road trip vacation with the family at the end of school year. I think we're going to be driving down or into Florida. So that's at the end of the month, though. But up until then, I'll be here in Texas and doing what I do. Other than that, that's about all I've got. Don't forget, Code Mental Health will save you 30% through the month of
and I would just say, tune in to see if Nate switches his hats when he merges the show. I want to see if you switch your hat. I'll tune in just for that.
Should I switch just...
If you got a red hat or a blue hat, you just got to do the switch at the top of the hour.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I do switch is like, okay, Ferocious Friday up above, and then...
Yeah, you've got the backgrounds more than I think anybody. Nobody has it. Is there anyone else that even does green screens? Like it's their thing?
Maybe. There may be some. I think, in fact, I know there are some, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. I just find it's just because if I don't have a green screen, it's just this wall, and it's like, here you go, my white background, and it just looks so plain,
It's like you just lifted up the curtain of your Be Ferocious looked like a curtain just lifting up.
Yeah, hold on, let me see what it actually looks like.
It looked good. It looks like a real ferocious curtain.
It's like the Wizard of Oz.
There's nothing back there.
All right, you guys. Anyway, I appreciate you guys coming out here and spending an hour, 2 hours almost with us. So we'll see you guys later, and have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.